And it was at that very moment that Joe realized he had been eating a moldy dish rag the entire time!
Ew!
Here's someone telling a scary story? No, Steve was just telling an actual story about me.
So you actually ate a moldy dish rag? Like, the entire thing?
Like, aren't you surprised? That's not even that crazy for Joe.
Yeah, earlier today he burped his 1, 2, 3s, so...
Enough! Listen, I thought I heard a scary story in progress, and I want all the effort in doing my scary entrance routine. I'm on a roll. We're just gonna go with it, okay? Now, who among you is brave enough to hear this scary story called The Spooky Owl?
Is it supposed to be anything like a famous short story, like The Monkey Spa?
No, that story isn't spooky whatsoever.
Gotcha.
Anyways, The Spooky Owl is a story about a young frog.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yes, it is indeed coincidental that you are a frog, and the story involves a frog. Do not interrupt me again. Now then, on to my scary story, which is, as always, to die for! Once upon a time, there was a young frog who cared very, very much about the way he looks.
What is happening right now?
I realize it's coincidental. Now stop interrupting! Anyway, one day the frog was looking around until he came upon an owl. You see, this is no ordinary owl. It's a magical but really spooky wishing owl. The magic owl told the frog that he would offer him 3 wishes. But there was a catch. All of his wishes would be granted in a rather spooky fashion. And so the frog went back to the room and started to begin his first wish. That he would have an incredible pet. Immediately, the wish came true. But you see, the cool pet looked rather spooky. So spooky, in fact, that he wouldn't take him to see his friends. So the frog began to make his second wish. That the woman of his dreams would fall madly in love with him. Again, the wish came true immediately. She loved him dearly and cannot be convinced otherwise, no matter what. You see, the frog absolutely reeked with spookiness. It eventually came worser and worser by the current, including in the frog himself. No matter how many times he bathed or tried to hide in his ridiculous collection of body sprays, the frog spooked to high heaven. But his love was not deterred. He was still feeling very happy, even though she spooked the frog whenever he came near. But he was so depressed, and he looked awful, and he was crying all over. And the love of his life was spooking him far too frequently by now. I wish for the spookiness to go away, he thought to himself. And that was before he realized he still had 1 wish remaining. Why, he could simply wish the spookiness away. And so he sat by the owl and began ordering his wish aloud, saying, I wish for the spookiness, but then, in the middle of a sentence, he caught a whiff of himself, and vomited uncontrollably. But unfortunately, the magic owl heard the frog's request. He had wished for the spookiness, and that is precisely what he got. From that day forward, the spooky dust spread across the land, causing everyone who felt it to die in horror. The dust was so awful, in fact, that some people even spooked themselves to death. It spread all over the world, and it somehow got even worse. Everyone knew it was the frog that brought the spooky curse upon them. But eventually, to kill the frog would be too kind. The true punishment was to allow him to live alongside his spooky, happy true love and his spooky-looking pet every day for the rest of his natural life. The end.
Now that's a scary story that passed the sniff test.
Guys? Where's George?
Oh, I believe he went to change the radiator for his riding lawnmower.
Checks out. I believe it.
Wow, that was a really good scary story. The way you described the smell, I could practically smell it.
Actually, that wasn't the story. That was me.
Joe!
No! What? I can't help it. I have allergies. Yes, it is Yes, it is indeed coincidental that you are a frog, and the story involves a frog. Do not interrupt me again. Now then, on to my creepy. Oh, I believe he went to change the